Hello and welcome to the NextPowerUp review summary of Clandestine. This is a game by Logic Artists and it's been sat in early access for the better part of a year. I did actually originally buy the game not long after it came out of early access. Well, not long after it was in early access, around about version 0.4, 0.5, something like that. But I never played it because I wanted to sit back and basically wait until it was a full game. I didn't want to ruin the experience because it is sort of a one or two playthrough game, not the sort of thing you'd come back to constantly like other early access games like Ark or stuff like that. It's like a single player game. In essence, this is an indie budget version of Splinter Cell, Pandora Tomorrow, or Chaos Theory. It's a bit of a throwback to some of those original Splinter Cell titles instead of the more modern ones with young Sam Fisher's voice in old Sam Fisher's body. Obviously we didn't do an impressions video of this because I was under NDA, so I'll go through the video options as if we were going to do that. Video options are okay. They're a little bit mismatched all over the place and they're a little bit irritating. I am playing 1080p at the moment because of two reasons. First, yes, it does support 4K, supports a multitude of resolutions, absolutely bizarre ones, 1776 by 100, whatever. Any resolution over 1200p, sorry, will cause the network interface on the hacker view to not appear. So basically you can play at 1080p or 1200p and that's it, and not use the hacker. If, however, you do use the hacker, which is kind of necessary, you can't play on a resolution higher than that. I have let the developers know and they said they are fixing it. So this could well be solved by the release date. I haven't received any game download updates for the press build, but my press build is 1.0C1. So if in the event that there is a different build number for the actual release, it could be that they've bundled a load of fixes in. Some I may mention now might have been fixed, but I'm just going to mention them anyway just in case. So the resolution thing is a bit of a problem, but they said they're on that, they're fixing it. They literally replied to me within an hour or something like that. Very quick, very quick. So yeah, they're on the case. They know it's the last week for me recording and doing reviews, so they know they're trying to fix a few things. So aside from that, we've got a field of view slider, which is quite nice for a third-person game. First-person shooter, it's absolutely required to have an FOV slider for those people that like anything between 80 and 120 if you're crazy, or, you know, Affinity users. But we do have an FOV slider, which is nice. Not 100% necessary, but it's nice to have. You've obviously got the presets, which are useful. You'd be surprised how many games don't have presets these days, and a couple of decent settings. It's nothing above average. It's just sort of your average sort of stuff. All that random crap. I've turned Bloom off because I can't stand it. And just general stuff. They even have texture resolution, so you can play at 1080p but halve the resolution, which is quite nice. And you've also got a difficulty customizer. This is quite good. The game is quite challenging, I have to say. It's not as easy as it looks, certainly. Aiming is quite difficult, and of course there's no once you've been discovered by an enemy, there's no melee combat. You have to melee people outside of combat in order to not use bullets. So the difficulty slider is relatively good for people that are there. Those of you that have never played this before and may not necessarily play it, this is the final levels HQ. The HQ for the first 8 levels is massive, tons of characters, but this is the final one. Because I've completed the game and unlocked most of the content, this HQ is only for these 2 missions. If you do these lot, there's a massive HQ, multi-levels, the whole works. There's even like a little bunker with some server rooms in. And I think for this purpose, we are going to do the mission in the HQ. The second to last mission is in that HQ. Obviously, if you don't want too many spoilers about what happens to the game, probably best not to jump in, but I want to show you this because I want to show you the map of the HQ. So we'll head out to the loadout. You do have 2 outfits. The Covert Ops has more armor and can carry more ammo, as well as gadgets, whereas the low profile one, you won't be, the alert meter won't go up as fast, which is quite nice. You do unlock weapons. Basically, you collect intel throughout the game. In all of the different levels, there's like anywhere between 10, 20, 30 bits of intel. And if you collect enough, you unlock a weapon, and they unlock in order, which is a bit annoying. I would prefer it if you could stash up intel and then expend it on the weapons you want to unlock, or the ammunition you want to unlock, or the gadgets you want to unlock. But instead, at the moment, everything is done in a set order. You have to unlock certain amounts of intel to unlock everything in order. And so far, I've got down to the G18C. I have completed this game entirely. I did all the challenge missions eventually, and as you can see, I've unlocked everything apart from the custom 45. I think I'm going to go for the Mark II. It's very accurate, very silent, but not very good damage. But I play passive. I only knock people out. And so, yeah, the upgrade system is a little bit annoying. It's not terrible. I would just prefer it if I could choose what I wanted to upgrade. And I'm also a bit annoyed that there are no weapons other than pistols. I would prefer it if there were more than just pistols. I would like it an MP5 or a UMP or something like that. So you can see this is the general loadout screen here. All of these primary weapons have different roles. So for example, the G18C has pretty decent damage, and you can see the accuracy is very low accuracy to a very high accuracy, so it has quite a large range. And you'll see all of these are very different, and they suit a lot of different playstyles, which is quite good. I have to say, all of these pistols, maybe one or two, are not so useful. Like, oh, an update. Not all of these pistols are useful. I have to say the PPK, it's okay. A couple of these are kind of useless, which is the reason I would have replaced some of the pointless pistols with something like an automatic rifle for those that want to go, balls to the wall crazy. So all of them have a purpose mostly, which is quite good. I think that's pretty great. Would you like to? No, I'll skip the briefing. You do get a briefing at the start of every mission, which you can skip with space, but the dialogue is average, the storyline is average, and the animations are so bad. Every character in this game has the worst stereotype you could possibly imagine. There's a Russian arms dealer who is the most arms dealer-ish arms dealer who's Russian you could possibly imagine. It's embarrassing, quite frankly. So, yeah. The storyline is a bit. It's okay. It's enough to keep me interested, but to be honest, the stereotypes are pretty terrible, and the animations are pretty terrible. Now, the graphics are average at best. I think the graphics are a little bit dated, if I'm being perfectly honest. They are relatively dated, and it's all right. I would have preferred something just a little bit better at least. But what can you do, I guess? It's a budget title. I would have liked to have seen slightly better graphics than this. Another issue is the graphics very often have a couple of problems with clipping, which gets to be a bit of a pain in the ass, especially when you're behind cover like this. And you see that my character went absolutely crazy. And another thing I want to reiterate is how irritating cover-based shooting is. Now, as you can see, I am aiming right on the line of that cabinet while I'm sat in cover, and when I come out of cover, I'm aiming a few inches above. Now, that can be really annoying, and it can get a whole lot worse depending on the type of cover you're behind, and that's not on, to be perfectly honest. I think that is one of the core mechanics in a lot of third-person tactical, espionage, stealth, whatever you want to call these games. That needs to be perfect. Where you aim without aiming behind cover needs to be exactly the same place you aim when you come out and aim. Otherwise, it makes the whole setup of everything pointless, and that definitely needs work. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of icons on my mini-map at the top right. You've got electrical nodes below me, well, one right here. You've got cameras all over the place. Now, you can actually point at these and press F in single player, and you can see my hacker guy has taken over that. In single player, you can hack doors by just looking at them, pressing F, and the guy will tell you the key. In multiplayer, you'll have a hacker that will have to do that for you, and we'll quickly jump in there now because we need to be in there. So this is the hacker, the main hacker sort of view. You can grab hold of cameras, and you have to grab hold of cameras. You can only take over one camera at once, move them about, and this is how you can spot enemies, and you can mark up to 3 enemies, and you can, set off electric things, but in order to set them off, you have to go and hack the nodes over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly jump over here, hack this. Usually we'd have an admin that's searching for us. But obviously this level is abandoned at the moment, so there is no admin for now, but there will be later. And so we're going to sit over here. Where we need to get to is on this. We've just put a rootkit on it, and so we're just going to press V and quickly jump over there, get ourselves through the firewall. And one of our main missions, the square flags of main missions, is to get rid of this, well, hack into this server. So that's that done. Now you can look at your agent's view in this, and you can see your agent's health here. The agent can't see their own health. They need the hacker to tell them what their health is like, which is quite cool. Basically, in order to make the hacker feel useful in this game, they've had to put a lot of onus on them. So in multiplayer, you don't have a minimap in the top right. You are relying on the hacker to tell you, oh, go down this room and take your first right, and you know, I'm going to take out this enemy with some electric whatever and zap them. Obviously this isn't working because there's no enemy there, and it does get very tactical. I have to say, single player is okay. The game is let down a lot by bugs and glitches and graphical nonsense and just terrible AI, but multiplayer is actually pretty fun. I have to say, it's extremely tactical. It's very hard. Try not to expect an easy ride unless you change the difficulty down to low. It's very difficult in multiplayer because the agent can't see anything, they can't do anything. All they can do is run around, shoot people, and complete objectives that they are told by the hacker, and the hacker has to do everything with, you know, door unlocks, camera taking over, getting rid of a couple of extra enemies, putting ammo drops in case you run out of ammo, dropping health in case you notice your agent here, it has a poor pulse and so they need more health, and they tell you where computers are that you need to access, where intel is, and all that sort of stuff. That is an instance of slight glitchiness. You can perform takedowns, but as you saw, the guy teleported towards the animation, which I think is a bit poor. It's not terrible, but it's poor, and it's definitely something I would certainly look at. You can probably see a little bit of stutter on my screen. Now, performance is okay. It's pretty good on 1080p. I haven't really had any blindingly poor issues. But on 4K, it's awful. The game is very badly optimized. A game that looks like this should not perform as badly as it did on 4K when I was running those benchmarks. So, you know, I think you'll find that most of the time the performance is perfectly acceptable. However, if you're expecting extremely good performance on a high end... Oh, shit. There we go. And as you can see, AI has absolutely no clue what it's doing whatsoever. AI is just pants. I think if the AI was slightly better for this game, we wouldn't be having this problem of... how do I explain it? Basically, when you're in a level, the levels are massive. They have multi-levels. They have a lot of management that you need to muck about with. And they're quite big, quite vast, and you can do an awful lot of things in them. But it is let down by the fact that AI is so awful that it often makes the levels feel a bit crap. The levels, I think, are one of the best parts about this game. The co-op is excellent, and the level design is also pretty damn good. I have to say these guys are very good at developing worlds. But unfortunately, AI is so retarded. So retarded. One moment you can shoot an enemy right in the face in front of his friend and he won't notice. In fact, it was this level. There is an area in this level where you can throw a gas grenade in front of 5 people, I believe. And I threw one. 3 people died from the gas, and the other guys just stood there, watched them, and walked away on their usual AI patrols. And that's just poor. That's just bad. But in another instance, I shot a guard in the head. I think it was in the middle of a car park, and he was miles away from his closest ally. And yet the ally came running because he was alerted for some reason. Don't know why or how. But yeah, wait, I didn't kill that guy. How did he die? I don't remember shooting him in the head. That's weird. That's very weird. There you go. There's another strange instance of AI being a bit odd. Huh. Yeah. So yeah, AI just seems to... AI is possibly one of the larger problems of this game. Ammo management, now that is awesome. As you can see in the bottom right hand corner of my screen, if I'd have chosen a variable type of ammos, I could switch between the magazines. And then what I could do is, if let's imagine the magazine I currently have equipped is the sleeper dart. and I want to switch to another magazine, I can hold R and I can scroll through them. And let's imagine this is an armor piercing magazine, so I can switch to that one. And then what I can do is I can hold tab. Oh wait, no, sorry. I can hold R and then press tab, and as you can see, the ammo count went down. Now what that will do is it will empty the current shell that's in the pistol, because it will still have a pistol shell from the previous clip, and it will drop that back into the old clip and then switch out one of your new types of ammo. So ammo control is tactical because you have to manage your ammo quite, you know, extremely cautiously. So you have the right type of ammo at the time. There's no auto reload, so you have to manage what sort of ammo you have equipped. See if I can drop that there. Are you kidding me? Yeah, see this? Look at that. Look at that. That's just annoying. So the main issues I have with this game, I'll cover them now because there's no getting away from it, and I'm going to have to cover it eventually, is this game was developed with some excellent intentions in mind. Some of the aspects of this game are absolutely fantastic, and I think that a lot of the mechanics and the concepts in this game are brilliant, and it just makes for what could have been an amazing indie budget version of Splinter Cell. Unfortunately, every single point in the game is let down by a couple of poorly designed aspects in the game. Like, I want to get off of this bloody wall, but it won't. And that's another thing that happens, is when you're on a wall, let's say you're roaming across and you just want to get off. Oh look, see, I'm pressing space now and I can't even go against this wall. This happens sometimes, I don't understand why. But you can actually go against certain things, but not others. It's not clear what cover can be used and what cover can't be used. Again, because a lot of things in this game were designed with very sensible things in mind. Unfortunately, they are let down by a lot of things. So we'll throw ourselves another gas grenade over there. I've actually done this mission before, so... Oh, shit. So, yeah. I think that very much sums up most of the game, is that it's a excellent core concept, a lot of very good ideas, and a lot of ideas. I mean, the content in this game is quite a lot. The level design is fantastic. Just everything about this game is done. It's done, but it's not done well. And I think this game probably shouldn't be out of early access just yet. I think this game belongs in a state of development for a much longer period of time than it currently is in. Oh, that's unfortunate. My ammo is useless against helmets. And so... yeah, I think this should stay in early access for another few months. There are a lot of kinks. The AI needs working on. A lot of the, you know, just the moving out of cover thing needs work. That needs to be, you know, these things need to be just right. And I feel like in its present state, if the developers release this as version 1.0 C11 that it is now, people are going to be left with a bitter taste. It's like Two Worlds. I mentioned this in the review, and it's like Two Worlds. It's an excellent core concept. It's all done on a very tight budget, and it's got a lot of bugs and glitches, but people tend to enjoy it regardless. And that's how I feel about Clandestine, is the fact that it's a very good, potentially good title, but let down by a lot of rough edges and a lot of poor development choices, basically, or just not enough development time. There are so many excellent mechanics in this that are just not, they just haven't been fleshed out as they should have been. And I think that's a similar case with Two Worlds. It's a lot of really awesome ideas that have unfortunately been ruined by a bit of a lack of just care and attention to detail, really. So I reckon if they did spend a couple of months polishing this title, it would most definitely be an excellent potential successor to Splinter Cell. It would be an excellent version of Splinter Cell on a lower budget, and I think that would be great. Unfortunately, if it releases in this state, it's not going to be, and I think people would be less inclined to buy the game in future, because they've been, you know, slightly let down. So just, I feel bad because I actually kind of enjoyed this game. As I got to the end of the game, I actually really started to enjoy myself, and once I hit the 10th mission and finished that 10th mission, I was a little bit sad because I wanted a little bit more content, just because the maps, the way that they deal with the hacker, it's all done relatively well. And I feel a bit bad saying that this is not in a very good shape, because I would like to see more from this game. But at the same time, I don't want to see more until they've fixed what they currently already have. And so, you know, I don't recommend this at present. I think if you're going to... Oh, look, there's another glitch. I can't activate the keypad. That's annoying. So I think if you're going to buy this game, if you're interested in these styles of game, yes, this is such a fantastic idea for a game. It's done everything Splinter Cell did, and it's done a lot more things. It's just done them with not enough care and attention that I feel that they deserve. So I'm going to sit back and say, if they continue to polish this game for the next 3 to 6 months, it's going to be an excellent game in that genre of games, and worthy to sit next to some of the older Splinter Cell titles. If they release this and only put out 1 or 2 patches for a couple of issues, then I don't think I can recommend this. I think there is a lot that needs doing, and if they're going to go straight ahead and jump onto the next title, then I would potentially not look at the next title either. But I'm not writing them off just yet. I think if it does release like this, they might have a few hiccups to begin with, and a lot of people might put down some negative reviews. But if they stick on with it, and if they choose to, you know, delay the release, then that's fine. I totally agree with them. I think they should. I think they should spend some time to polish the title up a bit. And I think a few months down the line, if they do spend that time and get everything right, then this is going to be a very good title. Like Two Worlds, that's going to be remembered for a very long time for being, yes, rough around the edges, and yes, budget, and not necessarily the most fancy looking titles, but core gameplay wise, great nonetheless. So, you know, I can't recommend people buy it on the premise that they fix it later and polish it up, but if they do, what I see is an excellent basis for a game that just is so much more fantastic when you play it with cooperatively with a friend. It's the only game I've seen that does this sort of stealth tactical espionage game in a co-op form, with having such contrasting roles and actually doing it properly. So yeah, check out our performance analysis if you're interested in those 1080p or 4K figures in the link below, and of course read the full review for all of these thoughts expanded in the link below. And of course, if you're looking for tech news, you can head on over to our sister channel and sister site NextPowerUp for all that kind of news, and for their forums for support as well. So please look at our review in the link below, and we'll see you guys next on Saturday for our Next Week in Gaming. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.